Hello everybody, the supervisors for 7BSP1357-0109 MSc Major Research Project. This is a supervisor guide that I, in my role as the module leader, and together with the co-module leader, Matt Shahan, would like to record it for you. Because our supervisors are onboarded at different times, so we hope this guide will be of use to you and which you can refer to at times. So first of all, I'd like to give you an overview of the module and the students on the module. So as you already know the module code and the module's title, and this module is a final 60 credit semester B and C module for the students on MSc International Business Program who are joined the program in September 2023. So as you may know, master's degree has a total of 180 credits. So the 60 credit module takes 1/3 of their overall master's degree. And that means this module equivalent to 4 single modules. So therefore, if a student gets 1 grade of the module, so the 4 times this grade will be used in the final degree classification for their course grade average. That determines whether the students will be graduated with distinction or commendation or just a pass. So therefore, that highlights the importance of the module and the importance of your role as a supervisor. So as you may have come across that the students on this module and on this program are mostly 99%, if it's not 100, are international students. So they are from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Nigeria. These are the 4 major nationalities of our student body on the program. Please note, most of the students may not necessarily have got a business degree or coming from a business background. So these students are on 1-year full-time course that finishes in September 2024. So therefore, their final submission is end of August, so with the course end date end of September. So these students have already completed their semester A and semester B studies with 4 taught modules in each semester. So they've already completed 120 credits, and with this remaining 60 credits to be completed in their final research project. And also, the students have had a business research methods module in the semester A, so they all have produced a research proposal. But however, this proposal and a pass of this module is not a prerequisite to progress to this final 60 credit major research project module. And also, you may find the merit of the proposal may not be as high as you would expect based on their non-cognate background. Like many other modules, this module has a module site hosted on Canvas, and it shows the module code, module title, and all the supervisors have been granted access to this module site. So please do feel free to explore under your dashboard or Canvas site. So on this module site, under the home page, both myself and Shahan have put our contact details there with our images, so you and the students can identify us. For you as supervisors, you may want to look at the module site, but most importantly, you may want to look at the people section of the module site. It has a group called Project Tutor Group. So all our supervisors have been put under the Project Tutor Group with your supervisees allocated to you underneath your name. And under your group, you may visit your group home page and you may utilize this group and to send announcement to the students or to your supervisees. However, please note your announcement will not only go to your supervisees, that is under your name, but also it goes to all other people who are registered on the module as well. Besides the your own group announcement, where you may engage with your supervisees, there's a program announcement that normally me and Shahan as the module leader can utilize, but also some other stakeholders like our academic advisors from the case team may use it to highlight or broadcast their support to the students. So if you click the announcement section, you will see all the communications have gone up to the students, but you should have already also received a copy of them as well. When you schedule meetings with your supervisees, you may use different ways. So many of you may use Teams, where you send the Teams link to your supervisees. And some of you may use Zoom. So when you use Zoom, you may use your own personal Zoom account. But in the meantime, just let you know, you may use the Zoom that is already available on the module site, so students can track and find out the Zoom link that is related to a Zoom meeting. And just to note, the Zoom is on the module site left-hand banner. When you schedule a meeting, you look at the right hand top of the Zoom section to schedule meeting. Just to make everybody aware that before you click schedule meeting, please do click the 3 dots next to the tab, because it's important that you manage the alternative hosts so you don't invite other colleagues as alternative hosts for your meeting. So therefore, once you click the 3 dots, it gives you another option which shows below. So it has manage alternative hosts option. So when you click this, it will give you a list of alternative host that's been randomly assigned. So what you need to do is you need to manually click the cross sign and just manually remove the alternative hosts. And once that's done, and then you can go back to the schedule a new meeting and then schedule a meeting with no alternative hosts invited. So therefore, students will only see you as the host, and no other tutors or supervisors will receive invitation as alternative hosts. When you schedule meetings, it's important you indicate to your supervisee when your next meeting will take place, so to manage expectations. So one of the advantages of Zoom meetings is that you can set up a series of meetings and repetitive every month or every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But however, I also advise supervisors to refer students to the Appendix 1 of the handbook, which is also on the module site, which is called Project Log or Research Project Log. So as you can see on the screen, there's a section A called Monitoring Student Research-Based Project Process, where it highlights the key activities of a research project. So for example, refine initial proposal under 1. So you can put a note under the milestone or deliverable date box so you agree when the students finish this particular task, and then you get the meeting scheduled in advance with the student. In the meantime, once every meeting has taken place, please ask students to record the meeting, so which is part of the section C, so record of meetings. So students need to record when the meeting took place, what the progress made, discussed, the proposal, for example, action or 1, 2, 3. Agreed action obviously is the agreed actions need to be taken place, and then signature of the students and supervisor will sign it in the next meeting, for example. Or maybe you want to do this record of meetings at the end of your supervision. It's always a good practice. Action grades could include when your next meeting is, so students don't have to email you and chase you for meetings. So another section on the Canvas page is called Units, so where all the resources are hosted. So feel free to explore the unit section. So we have put a lot of useful information under the units with the reading list, an online library, and all the other resources available to the students. On the Canvas page, one of the most important parts for students, and maybe for you as well, is the assignments section. So I have got a student view screenshot of the assignment section. As you may say, the list of assignments we've organized are based on a chronological order. We have made the last Friday of the month as a deadline for students to submit various different assignments. So the first one was in April, end of April, where students have to declare whether their research is secondary or primary. For students who do primary research, they have been given separate instructions where supervisors should also be copied in about how to go about the primary research, where there might be separate sessions organized for them. And also to note that for this module, we have got a class protocol for primary research, but however, students have to get their data collection methods, questionnaires, or interview questions checked by the supervisors. But majority of our students are doing secondary research, so they have to declare the research will not involve any human participants or any primary data. So therefore, the secondary research declaration form have to be submitted, which will also be used as one of the appendices for the final report. And then we have 3 draft summations. So the draft summations are drafted work in progress. So the first draft is due end of May, and second is end of June, and the third is end of July, with the final summation is the end of August. So the drafts are work in progress. So for example, under the assignment section, in the detail section, it suggests draft 1 should be where students already completed their chapter 1 introduction, and I'm clear about the aim, objectives, and work in progress. If it's not completed, that chapter 2 literature review. And then draft 2 obviously is should have already finished literature review, work in progress, or already complete chapter 3 methodology. And then draft 3 is there where they must finish their methodology and work in progress with their findings analysis, and obviously having the last month to finish off everything. And also we have a draft summation for term team. So this is a facility for students to check their similarity report. So I've set this term team draft summation as unlimited, so students can submit any draft to this portal, so they can refine their writing skills and make any changes to improve their writing. However, please let your student know they need to keep 24 hours gap between the drafts so they don't end up with self-plagiarism. So in summary, with regard to the module assessment, so students have one summative assessment, which is the final major research project report, so which is deadlines the last Friday in August, which is 31st of August. And then the final report is 12,000 words, featuring a standard academic research report format, and including, for example, chapter 1 introduction, and then followed by literature review, methodology methods, findings analysis discussion, so as chapter 4. So I think I put it here as one chapter aligned with the student handbook. But however, some students who do primary research may want to separate this chapter with findings being chapter 4, and then analysis discussion for being chapter 5. But obviously it varies based on the nature of the research. And then there's a last chapters, the conclusions and recommendations where appropriate. And another section is called personal reflection. So this is not part of the word count, but this is still going to be marked as part of the work. So the percentage under each of the chapter are a rough indication of the word count, but it may vary. So obviously please adjust it based on your experience with the students and the nature of the student research. And as I mentioned, there are 3 formative assessments. So, you're expected as supervisors to provide feedback on each of the draft, and you may want to provide a draft after students submitted the work on the Canvas, But however, if you already provide the feedback in other formats, for example, in your supervision meeting or via email, you may just put a note under the comment box, just say, please refer to the feedback dated, this date in the email. So there's a bit of flexibility there, but I think students are expecting something after their submission. And obviously, there's a earlier one, which is confirmation of the students doing primary or secondary research we've mentioned. As a supervisor, you are expected to conduct 6 45-minute supervision meetings with your students, and then this is what you've been contracted for. And however, just the hours, 1 hour may equivalent to 1 academic hour on rate A may equivalent to about 3 hours physical hours that we work. Involves your reading of the student work, making feedback and organizing meetings. So just to be aware, it's not physical hours because of the rate, as explained by the university guidance. Yeah. So on this slide, I've outlined a few things that are kind of a suggested meeting agendas, what expected in each meeting, and obviously that varies based on your own supervision style and obviously the student progress as well. But generally, in your first meeting, you may want to look at student proposal, for example, and give some feedback on the proposal, how to improve, and also agree your supervision schedule. There's Appendix 1, which is about research project log you may want to refer a student to. And obviously, in your meeting 1, it's important you guide students to the additional resources available, that is on the module side, so students can seek for additional support. And obviously, in your meeting 2, which could be where they submit their first summative formative assessment, and meeting 3, obviously meeting 4, 5, and the draft submissions. And obviously, last meeting would be on the final draft, where you may guide them to the final, report structure, make sure students have included everything. So it's kind of this is how the 6 meetings can be utilized, where you give touch to each of the assessments, regardless it's formative or summative. As we mentioned, students may feel they have very limited, meetings with you, but however, please do refer students to the additional support, and especially this is an independent research project and should be led by the students with your support guidance. So therefore, please refer students to explore the resources and literature through the university's online library, which can be accessed via the Student Study Net portal, so which I've highlighted here, online library. And obviously under online library, which is also featured in the module site under unit sections as well. So students can find the business subject toolkits, and there's a wide range of toolkits and resources have already been outlined for students. So they are recommended to utilize the university's online library for academic, credible, and reliable sources. And also, there's additional resources which is very vital alongside the students' research journey, which is called CASE. So many of you may know CASE stands for Center for Academic Skills Enhancement, and the direct link to CASE is go.hos.ac.uk/CASE. And then the CASE timetable is somewhere I always refer students to in the first instance to understand the vast range of support services offered. And obviously, they have lots of resources under their unit section as well. So let's take a look at the CASE timetable as an example. So this is the CASE timetable for May and June. So as highlighted on the screen, you can see there's a lot of research project support drop-in sessions highlighted in red blocks. I've kind of listed here. And there's a number of research conversation, a space to discuss research for students. And in addition, there are dissertation projects or academic skills drop-ins. These are scheduled on a daily basis at different times to accommodate students' needs and demands. Some of them offered online, some of them offered face-to-face in the office. So case office is based in a library. Obviously, they can utilize additional resources, the books, for example, the computers as well. So, and also when it comes to students' analysis, there's a numeracy statistics session, and there's a technology session. If student digital skills, if students don't know how to do the headings, for example, and referencing workshops and sessions for in-text citations, the final list of references. And also there's a sessions about reflection. When students come to the end of the project, they have to write reflection section. So just to give you an idea of the range of support which covers the kind of areas of a final research project. So I hope these additional resources will be of help to you and especially your students. And feel free to visit the case office or introduce yourself or introduce your students to them as well. Also, I'd like to share some good practice or tips for supervision meetings. So also these are from experience or kind of from shared by other colleagues as well. So it's important as supervisors, you start ground rules with your supervisees and stick to it. So for example, if a student missed a meeting, tell them they missed one of your supervision opportunities. So they have to catch it up and then work towards the progress you set up for them. Meanwhile, please do offer students some options about the supervision meetings. As you may know, our learners, students are also earners, so therefore they may have work commitment or childcare duties. So therefore, try to offer them a couple or a few options about supervision meetings. And it's always a good practice, send a reminder of your supervision meeting or the scheduled ones to your students prior to the meeting, because sometimes some students may not necessarily schedule in a diary, or if they overseen the diary and they miss it. And it's important in your reminder email to send an outline of the agenda for the meeting or what you expect from the students. So for example, get your chapter 1 ready and send it. We can discuss it in the meeting, okay? And obviously, always refer them to additional resources and support, because your time in the supervision meeting is very limited. If students ask for very specific and detailed guidance, how do I do reference? So, and then in order to better utilize your time and the student time, refer them to case where there's specific referencing workshops or drop-in session. Yeah. And also, some colleagues suggested they find the first couple of meetings organized as group sessions have been really useful, because students don't feel imitated in a one-to-one supervision, because they've been used to learning in groups in their semester A, semester B settings, where there's a large lecture for 200-300 students, or there's a kind of 50 or 60 students tutorials. We understand there might be challenges in your supervision meetings with your supervisees, and then please feel free to copy me and Shahan in for issues of your concern, like academic misconduct or language level. So we'd like to be notified and to provide for further guidance and support. And later on in your supervision process, please do make it clear to the students if you feel their work is not up to a past standard, and then guide them, to how they can achieve a good merit of the work, and also communicate to students what they'd like to achieve. For example, have an understanding of the students' overall performance in their semester A, semester B modules, and see what they'd like to achieve, throughout for their final 60 credit module. If students want to achieve a 670 or a distinction, level, then you need to support and guide them towards that. Tell them very clearly this is not a 70+ piece of work, okay? So to manage their expectations. And finally, as we mentioned, always refer students to additional support with all the daily sessions on research project. And also, I could have outlined this as a FAQ, but I think some of them already be covered by the good practice or tips in the last slide. So first, the question is something like whether students can change their research topics after being, being appointed as supervisor. I would say technically no, because supervisors, you have chosen the students based on the topic outlined, which could fall under your expertise and interest. However, if the students in a new topic still within your expertise area, you may say yes, as long as there's no change of a supervisor, so not from marketing to supply chain, which is something you don't necessarily are comfortable with. Okay. And the second question is, students missed meetings, what's next? As I mentioned earlier, if students have agreed to a meeting, so then technically they've missed one of the 6 supervisions that they are entitled to. So therefore, please do communicate to the student, highlight the importance of professionalism. If your schedule of meeting was only based on your availability, and as we said, please do offer a couple options as well. And also, if they missed the meeting, just tell them very frankly you missed one of the supervision, but do refer them to additional case support. Yeah. Another question we often get is students don't respond to emails or meeting requests. What can we do? We would say always, for example, send a student follow-up emails and express your concerns and the possible consequences of failing this project with no supervision or limited supervision support, and highlight there might be Viva available, or they might be called upon for Viva as well. Yeah. We would say if student never responds, and try to follow up twice, and then copy the module leaders in or flag with us separately. And then I think this is kind of nice to keep a record of your proactive communication, just to avoid complaints from students, at the end of the project, saying they never received any support from the supervisor, where we can argue to say that there have been communications, but you've never responded, so therefore students' own responsibility for their failing. Yeah. Another question is, about what the format of the supervision meetings. So as we mentioned, the contractual 6 times 45 minutes meetings per students are one-to-one, and you can do it either face-to-face or online based on your agreement with the students, and obviously your convenience as well. However, as we mentioned, the first couple meetings, you may want to do it as a group because you or the students may feel more comfortable. But later on, students should have kind of one-to-one communications or supervisions with you. Yeah. However, some students may express their preference of only communicating to you via email. However, I would say please be very cautious about it, because there's a likelihood of contract cheating there, and award them the potential waiver in place. So you must be able to meet your supervisor, explain, and discuss your research verbally with your supervisor. Okay. I think so far that's what I can think of that might be of use to you. Later on, we may offer more guidance on the grade or marking, but hope that is of help and have a good start of your supervision. If there's anything else you think the module leader, me and Shahan can be of help, please do reach out to us. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.